So this is the second edition of the first thing that we have already studied. Now this is the cells continued. Whatever we studied in the first part was the revision of class 8. We didn't study anything new. कुछ नया नहीं पढ़ा हमने. Now we are going to study something new. What is that? The first thing about the cell is the cell theory. Cell theory means the properties of cell. Anything and everything in this world has certain properties. কিছু property হয়, এমনি হয়, এমনি হয়, এমনি হয়. তো সেলেরও কিছু property আছে. That cell property is known as cell theory. It was proposed by two great scientists, Matthias Sleden and Theodor Schwann. They were Sleden and Schwann. Matthias Sleden and Theodor Schwann. So according to them, what is cell theory? What are the points of cell theory? The first one, all living organisms are made of cells. Just where we had in chapter number 1 chemistry, all matter is made up of particles. Similarly, all living organisms are made of cells. जे कोनो living organism, any living organism, maybe a human being made up of cells, plants made up of cells, insects made up of cells, है ना? Even a microorganism that is also living, that is also made of cells. Single cell, but it is a cell. Huh? The second, cells are structural and functional unit of living organisms. Cells are the structural and functional unit of living organisms. So this we have discussed already, because the cells are the responsible which are giving. Cells are responsible for giving the shape to an organism and also performing the various life process of an organism. So this is what the second cell theory is about, that cells are responsible for giving the structure and function of the cell organism. The third, what is the third point? The third point is that cells exist from pre-existing cells. That means no cell can be created on its own. I cannot create cell on my own. Suppose I am taking some chemicals, some proteins, some minerals, some this and some that, and I am mixing something in the vessel and I am creating a new cell. No, I cannot do that. If I can create a new cell, that means I am the God. I am creating a new life. Because cell is a living part. I cannot create new life. I cannot create new cell. The cells has to be come from pre-existing cells. जो सेल पहले से है वही रिप्रोड्यूस करके नया सेल बनाएगा. तुम अपने से कोई केमिकल डाल के नया सेल नहीं बना सकते. This is the third point. And what is the fourth point? That all cells are basically similar in their chemical composition or metabolic process. This is the fourth postulate. इसका मतलब, this means the cells, I told in the first part that cells are made up of tissues which helps in performing special functions. So never think that there are different cells and each cell will do a different work. No, the cells are basically same. All the cells if put together, you cannot differentiate that which cell is of which type. But when many cells group together, for example, human beings are basically same of the same type. they have the same legs, same hand, same eyes, same ears, same head, same body, everything is same. But some human beings when grouped together do some industrial jobs. Some human beings when grouped together, they do the banking jobs. Some human beings when grouped together, they do the transportation jobs. Means the cells are same, they are alike, they have the same parts, they have the same chemicals inside, but when they group together, they group in such a way that they can do a special task that are called the tissues. But basically, cells are alike, cells are same. So these are the 4 basic properties or basic theory of a cell, and this was given by Mr. Matthias Sliden and Theodor Schwann. Correct? Now, the next topic what we have to learn, that I told you now that the cell membrane is semi-permeable in nature. Now, what was the meaning of this semi-permeable? The meaning of semi-permeable was that it allows only selective things to get in and selective things to get out. That is called the selectively permeable membrane. So, how does these things happen? These things happen through diffusion and osmosis. Let me explain this. This is both diffusion and osmosis. Diffusion, what is diffusion and what is, both are basically same. That is, they are the movement of particles from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. What does it mean? Suppose you studied in chapter 1 chemistry that gases diffuse each other. What is the meaning of diffusion? Suppose I have 2 gases. The first, suppose there are the 2 test tubes. I have 2 gases. This blue one is carbon dioxide and this black one is oxygen. Suppose I mix them up. What will happen? This blue one contains more carbon dioxide and this one contains more oxygen. So what will happen? That the oxygen from the black one will start traveling towards the blue and the carbon dioxide from the blue test tube will start traveling towards the black. They will do this until their concentration in both of them are same. Correct? This is how the diffusion comes into play. And this is generally done for gaseous substances. There is a movement of particles from a region of higher concentration to lower concentration. When they are kept in open, the particles try to move around. And the particles move where the concentration is high to where the concentration is less. Okay, and this flow takes place till the concentration in both of them are same. The same thing takes place with osmosis also. This is also movement of particles from higher concentration to lower concentration through, now this is the tweak, through a semi-permeable membrane. Whenever the particles passes through a semi-permeable membrane, through a division in between, that is known as osmosis. And if there is no division, that is open and the particles can move in and out, that is called diffusion. Okay, this takes place generally in case of liquids. This one for gaseous substances, this one for liquid substances. So basically what is the difference between diffusion and osmosis? Both are the exchange of substances or exchange of particles from a higher concentration to a lower concentration. Only the difference is that for osmosis, we have a semi-permeable membrane in between. In diffusion, there is no such semi-permeable membrane. That is open. So can you explain this, sir? I will place something in between and still there will be movement. Let me show you by an experiment. You will take an eggshell. Do you know what eggshell? Anda ka upar ka means cover, the hard cover of the egg. You will take an eggshell. Okay. Suppose this is the eggshell. I have cut it from the above so that I can place. So this is an eggshell. Okay. I will fill the eggshell with sugar solution. I will fill that egg up to a portion, that eggshell, with sugar solution, and will then put this whole apparatus in a water jar. Okay. So this is the experiment. What was the experiment? I have taken an egg shell. Egg means ande ke bahar ka chilka, the hard covering. Okay, so there's a bowl type. You will get a bowl vessel type substance. Now I have taken sugar solution in it, and I have marked a point on it so that I can see from inside. I will mark by this marker a point inside the cell, that this was the point till which my sugar solution was kept. Okay, and then I will place this whole apparatus in water, plain water. Okay, and I am going to leave this system, or I am going to leave this experiment for 1 day complete. I am going to leave it completely. छोड़ दिया मैंने इसको एक दिन तक. What will happen? This eggshell, it is semi-permeable in nature. Eggshell is semi-permeable, just like my cell membrane. It is semi-permeable in nature. It will allow the movement from in and out. And how will the movement will take place? Through osmosis. That is, the substance having more. What will happen? Then water concentration is more outside. Water concentration is more outside. So the water will start going in. And the sugar concentration is more inside. The sugar particles will start coming out. है ना? So if the water, the sugar will come out, and that will not affect the so much amount of water outside, because the water is too much high. I will not see any change outside, but I will see a significant change inside. What I will see? That the point up to which I have marked the line has gone up. It has gone up to this much position. After 1 day, the solution inside the egg cell has risen till above the mark I have placed earlier. This shows that there are certain substances which have come from the outside to the inside, because matter cannot be created nor be produced. This matter cannot reproduce of its own. So the matter has to come from somewhere. So from where has the matter come? The matter has come from the outside. This water has gone in. So this is the example of osmosis. Similarly, if the substances from outside are coming inside the cell, it is known as endoosmosis. Endoosmosis means inside. But think of the opposite situation. If my substances are going from the cell to outside, it is known as exosmosis or exosmosis. Endosmosis and exosmosis. What is endosmosis? If the osmosis takes place in such a way that the particles are moving from the outside of the cell to the inside of the cell. The particles are moving from the outside to the inside is known as endosmosis. And if the particles are moving from the inside of the cell to the outside, from the cell to the outside, it is known as exosmosis. And what is the effect of endosmosis? Suppose this water goes on filling in, filling and filling and filling. What will happen? This water level will increase. It will increase and increase. it has an open surface, it may flow out. But what in a case of cell? The cell is fixed. So if water goes on and goes on and goes on, what will happen? It will grow in size, it will swell, है ना? And it will go on swelling and swelling and swelling, and after a certain limit it may explode also, it may burst open also. So what happens to endosmosis? If there is endosmosis, the cells swell, बड़ा हो जाता है. And what happens in exosmosis? What is exosmosis? The substance from the cell is going outside. The substance from the cell is going outside. So if I take out substance from the cell, what will happen? The cell will squeeze. The cell will squeeze. Here what happens? Here the cells squeeze. You must have noticed that the vegetable vendors, sabji bechne wala, sabji wala, what do? After 10 to 5 times, they take some water and they sprinkle over the vegetables. They go on sprinkling, continuous. जितना देर बैठे रहेंगे तब तक वो sprinkle करते रहेंगे. Why? Because if they don't sprinkle, then what will happen? Then the all vegetables contain water in them. That's why they are fresh. The vegetables contains a large amount of water in them. So there is water inside the vegetables. If suppose I do not sprinkle water, then there will be more amount of water inside the vegetable and less amount of water outside the vegetable. So there will be a tendency of the water from inside the vegetable to come out. And if the vegetable comes, and if the water comes out of the vegetable, the vegetable will shrink and it will stay stale, basi ho jata hai. It will look, the sign will be vanished. So the vegetable vendors sprinkle water. Same is the case of fishes also. Have you seen? Agar machli mar bhi jaye, then they also put it either in ice or they put in water. Why? Kyun? So that exosmosis doesn't take place. है ना? This is the reason behind it. Take now. When does this exosmosis and endosmosis will take place? कब होगा? So endosmosis कब होगा? When there is more amount of water outside and less amount of water inside. Endosmosis कब होगा? जब बाहर वाटर ज्यादा है और अंदर वाटर कम है. There is more concentrated solution inside and less concentrated solution outside. Means more water is present outside and less water and salt is present inside. Then the water from the surroundings will come inside the cell, and that will call endosmosis. So such kind of solution where endosmosis takes place is known as hypotonic solution. Endosmosis takes place in hypotonic solution. So what is hypotonic solution? Hypotonic solution is a type of solution which contains more amount of water as compared to the cell inside. Hence, the water from the hypotonic solution moves inside the cell and thus endoosmosis takes place. And what takes place in the case of exosmosis? In case of exosmosis, what happens? Water inside the cell is more and water outside the cell is less. So what happens? The water from the cell will move outside. And such kind of solution is known as hypertonic solution. So if there is a solution in which the amount of water is less as compared to the amount of water inside the cell, then what happens? Then the water from inside the cell will move out and exosmosis will take place. And this kind of solution is known as hypertonic solution. Now, so you said that either the solution outside the cell will have more water than inside the cell or will have less water than inside the cell. Sir, can there be any situation when the water inside and outside are same? Yes. Then what will happen? If the amount of water is same in inside the cell and outside the cell, then what will happen? Then the concentration is same. And I told that the osmosis or diffusion can take place only if there is a difference in diffusion, a difference in concentration. As the concentration is same in both sides, nothing will take place. Means no osmosis will take place. The substance will remain as it is. Such kind of solution is known as isotonic solution. So what is isotonic solution? Isotonic solution is such a solution in which the amount of water or the concentration of water inside the cell and outside the cell are both equal, and hence no movement or no transportation of substances takes place. Got it? Or there is a problem here? You can tell me. So this is all about how the substances are getting inside or outside of a cell. The process is either known as diffusion or osmosis. The gaseous substances takes place through diffusion and the liquid substances takes place through osmosis. Now many of you will ask, sir, what about solid? सॉलिड कहाँ गया? लिक्विड गैस तो गया. सॉलिड क्या हम लोग नहीं खाते हैं? सेल में सॉलिड क्या नहीं घुसता है? अरे भाई, सॉलिड कैन नॉट ट्रेवल. सॉलिड ट्रेवल्स इन एक्वा स्टेट. सॉलिड कोई लिक्विड में डिसॉल्व हो जाता है. चैप्टर 1 केमिस्ट्री. एक्वा स्टेट. व्हाट इज एक्वा स्टेट? अ सॉलिड कैन नॉट ट्रेवल ऑन इट्स ओन. A solid has to get mixed with something so that it can flow through our body or it can flow through our cell. So ultimately it becomes a liquid part. If my water is traveling, the particles inside the water, the solution particles may also will travel from the liquid. So the solid travels through that way, through osmosis. And gaseous part only can travel through diffusion. Now let me give an example of how directly solid particles can get inside. This is not possible for all organisms, but certain organisms, for example, amoeba, this kind of direct engulfing and exgulfing of solid substances can take place. This is known as cytosis. So the next topic is cytosis. What is this cytosis? The cytosis is the property by which large particles, such as the particles of a solid, can directly move inside and outside of a cell membrane. Okay, so what I told, it is the process by which large particles can move in or out of cell body or through cell membrane. If the particle is going inside cell, it is known as it is known as endocytosis. It is known as endocytosis. And if the substance is going outside the cell, it is known as exocytosis. This does not take place in every organism because all organism doesn't have the ability to take in solid particles directly. This can happen only in certain organisms which have a flexible cell membrane. For example, amoeba. I told you amoeba doesn't have a fixed shape. Its cell membrane is movable. So this is the part of the amoeba. This is the amoeba. It doesn't have a fixed shape, and there is suppose this is the nucleus. The finger-like projections that you see are known as pseudopodia. They are known as pseudopodia. Now what is this pseudopodia? Pseudo means false, podia means legs, means false legs. They are leg-like but they don't have the fixed shape. If you are seeing this leg now, the next moment you will not be able to see the legs may disappear. So this is called the pseudopodia. So what happens? Suppose this amoeba sees a food over here. They are seeing a food substance over here. So what will it do? It will extend its pseudopodia. It will extend the pseudopodia like this. Okay. Then what will happen? then it will engulf the food like this. Okay, now see what happened? This whole portion, this food along with the surrounding water, because amoeba lives in water, they are only aquatic animals, they cannot be seen in air. So this food along with the water totally got inside the cell of the amoeba. So how this a solid particle direct gets inside? So this is endocytosis. So what will happen? The moment food gets inside this whole bag, this becomes a vacuole. This becomes a vacuole. What was the function of vacuole? Vacuole was the storage place. So what is storing? It is storing food. So that's why it is a food vacuole. So this food vacuole will digest the food, will absorb the food, and once the absorption has completed, this food vacuole will be then treated as a contractile vacuole, because contractile vacuole contains excess of water and excess of waste. Then the same process will be applied to release this contractile vacuole outside. Then the pseudopodia will start retracting. That means they will be like this. They will retract like this. They will retract like this. And after some times, they will be so my body has gone out outside. ठीक है? So the solid particle can be taken in a body cell or can be thrown out of a body cell by the process known as cytosis. And the internal movement of the large particle is known as endocytosis. The external movement of the large particle is known as exocytosis. And the complete process by which this amoeba can get its food is known as phagocytosis. Phagocytosis. So what is phagocytosis? The complete process of endocytosis and exocytosis through which an amoeba can get its food is known as phagocytosis. Correct? So this is how cytosis takes place. Other than diffusion and osmosis, this cytosis also takes place, but this is for very certain kind of cells. All cell does not contain this cytosis. Now, next topic. We have one more thing that is called plasmolysis. In the first part, we discussed that cell wall is specifically needed for a plant cell. Animal cell don't need a cell wall, because the moment they will feel any uncomfortness, they will feel that their cell is getting damaged, they will run to a safer place. They will run from harsh weather, they will run away from wind, they will run away from water, so they can save themselves. But think the situation of a plant. The plant cannot run away. They are immotile. They have to remain at the place they are potted. So what will happen to them? Suppose a flood comes. A cow will run away. A goat will run away. A dog will run away. But a plant that is outside your home, that money plant or that tulsi plant or that rose plant that you have potted outside, what will happen? That will remain in that place. So it will get a large amount of water inside. So the excess amount of water that is surrounding the plant will cause endoosmosis. All the water will try to get inside the cell body. So what will happen? The cell body will go on increasing. When the water goes on inside, if continuous it goes on, then what will happen? The cell size will go on increasing. After a certain limit, the cell will burst. And if the cell starts bursting, the plant will die. But I don't want my plant to die. I want my plant to live. So I have to do a certain thing that will not allow my plant to explode. What will I do? That's why, other than the cell membrane, I have a thick coating of cell wall. This cell wall is made up of a hard substance. I told now, what was the substance? Substance was cellulose. The cellulose does not grow or sink. Cellulose is fixed. The cell membrane is flexible. Cell membrane is soft. It can grow, it can shrink, it can enter substance inside, it can allow substance outside. But the cell wall, it is fixed, very hard. It will not expand, it will not shrink. So what happens? So when endosmosis takes place, the cell structure will swell. This swelling will take up to cell membrane. This cell membrane will expand, and we will reach a position which it is stuck with the cell wall. The cell membrane will go and strike the cell wall. The moment it strike the cell wall give an opposite force. The cell wall will give an opposite force to the cell membrane, which will push the jelly inside, which will push the fluid inside. So it will create a pressure inside that will not allow the external fluid to come in. Let me repeat. When there is endosmosis, the liquid or the fluid substance are coming from the outside to the inside. The cell will go on, swelling and swelling and swelling. It will increase in size. Once it has increased completely, it will go and strike the cell wall. The cell wall being rigid, it does not move. It will push back the cell membrane with the similar force, because equal and opposite force. The same force I will go on the cell wall will give me the same force. The same force will be applied to the inside fluid also. That fluid, the pressure inside the fluid will be so high that it will not allow the external fluid to come in, and my cell will be stopped from bursting. So this is how my plasmolysis occurs in cells of plant cell. But this is not possible in case of animal cell. Why? Because animal cells don't have cell wall. This is possible only if I have a hard cell wall outside. So plasmolysis is a condition or is a phenomenon only of plant cells. Correct? Now the last topic is active transport. What is this active transport? Generally, what we know, that during osmosis, the particles will flow from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. The particles will flow from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. That is called osmosis or passive transport. That is passive transport. But for example, here what we have seen, that there was excess water inside, but it cannot come out, but it cannot go in. Rather, some water from inside moved out. Means the particles are moving from a region of lower concentration to higher. Ulta ho raha. Means from lower to higher. This will not happen on its own. I will need some external energy from it. This energy was provided by the cell wall. The push was given by the cell wall. So due to that push, due to that pressure, the water from inside moved out and the cell was saved. But similar thing can also happen in external world also. That instead of moving the particles from higher concentration to lower concentration, if I supply external energy, then the particles will start moving from lower concentration to higher concentration. This is known as active transport. Active transport means movement of particles from lower to higher due to external energy. This is an active transport, and this process is used in your homes, in aqua filters, in water filters. RO, reverse osmosis. Reverse of osmosis takes place. That osmosis happens when a substance travels from a higher concentration to lower concentration, but there takes place from lower to higher. Active transport takes place there because of presence of some external energy they give in the form of electrical energy or whatever, that I don't know. But this reverse osmosis takes place due to this active transport. So these are two differences between passive transport and active transport. So this was all about the second part of cell chapter. So basically you have to learn what is a cell, what is cell theory, what is the structure of cell, what is the shape of cell, what are the different organs or organelles in a cell that helps in life process, and how the substance are exchanged in the cell with the help of osmosis. That's all. Thank you.